What's up, peeps? Just jumping on to fill you all in and document for my own purposes the city of Marion and this whole situation with the pool permit. So if you caught my live on Facebook, I shared a link to it. I went into the city of Marion after they didn't show up for their compliance check, whatever it was. I saw a city of Marion employee out there, confronted him and asked him if he was coming to the house. He said he didn't have anything on the table. They never showed up. So I assumed everything was closed. Fast forward, I get a letter, a very confusing letter, of course, city of Marion, making it sound like they're going to charge me tens of thousands worth of dollars in fees, potentially come like physically remove my temporary pool. It's very confusing, didn't make sense. So I went in and spoke to the city on Monday, so a week from today. And of course, they weren't the nicest, but they did say that I could, wait, do some research and speak to the city council at the next meeting that would work out, which would be August 28th. So after that, the next day, I think, let me look at it. Newhouse, 2 days later, Matt Newhouse, the building inspector that had just told me that I could wait, that they weren't going to file any charges or whatever with the city, the Lane County Attorney. A civil infraction is what it would be with the Lane County Attorney's Office until I could speak to City Council, because City Council's who signed the complaint. Hey, Howard. They said that they weren't going to, file anything. They were going to wait. They were going to give me time to look into it, all that good stuff. So 2 days later, Matt Newhouse sends me an email, and he was definitely the ruder of the two. Both building inspector people came out, and, Matt Newhouse, he was interrupting me. You could tell he didn't like me. He said he didn't know who I was or anything like that, but I could feel the animosity with him. Yeah. So anyways, he sends me this email with a bunch of attachments that are confusing. And again, this is over just a temporary pool, had it for decades. The only time they've ever complained is because, I went to city council and brought to their attention that they're doing retaliation and things like that, their police department. And I specifically mentioned how they will target children. And that's what they're doing. They're just literally proving my point. They're just trying to get something taken off my personal property because they can't find anything else better to do. So they're, and it's just funny that it's called public nuisance. So anyways, here's what he wants me to do next. Please use the provided nuisance appeals form if you are choosing to appeal within the 10 days of the date of service of the notice in order to abate sent to you on July 15th of 2024. So it's almost like we didn't even have the conversation that we had the other day. Howard, I'm not being charged with anything. I haven't done anything illegal. Nobody's told me I'm being charged with anything. I did get something regarding a situation that seemingly says that somebody tried to get charges against me and was told that there weren't any because, yeah. Iowa Free Press, what's up? Yeah, everything's going good. We're rocking. Anyways, I'll catch up on comments shortly. I get distracted. Keep in mind, I'm new to live stream, so bear with me. But anyways, he basically Matt Newhouse just disregarded the conversation that we had, and my spouse was also there with me. Disregarded that conversation, acted like we didn't have it, and is now telling me, and he was giving me basically a 1-day notice. That I need to do this appeal with a nuisance board. When I fill out the appeal form, this will need to be delivered, hand delivered, to the Nuisance Enforcement Property Maintenance Advisory Board. Nuisance Enforcement Property Maintenance Advisory Board. How much money do we have? The city of Marion just throws money around like crazy, but they really need my $50. It needs to be hand delivered to City Hall, gives the address, 1225 6th Avenue, Suite 220. Also, be advised that there are very specific items that the Nuisance Enforcement Property Maintenance Advisory Board can rule on. And if your appeal is outside of the parameters set forth within the request for hearing, there's a link, the board will not be able to render a ruling at the time of your appeal. It's so funny because they act like they don't want us coming to City Hall. They act like they don't want us coming to the police department. You know, we've got all these videos that we've seen of BCNN, Casey, notorious videos. And they act like they don't want us there, but then they do stuff like this. I can't email it. I have to physically take it in. It's like, how reasonable is this? It's just, it's insane. It's like they act like they don't love the attention. They submit paperwork in court acting like they don't love the attention, but they do love the attention. It's because they're narcissistic. Even if it's negative attention, they love it. They love the attention they get. It's insane. So they want me to hand deliver this. I already told them on Monday that I was going to be speaking to the people that issued this, that felt confident enough to issue this request, which is the Marion City Council. It's like the audacity that I've taken 3 complaints to the Marion City Council and I've said, you know what, you guys are retaliating against people. I've witnessed this among multiple citizens in the town. Specifically, it seems like you guys target vulnerable people and children. I spoke to the 5 city council members, and those are the ones that are willing to sign on this piece of paper and make a complaint against me because of a temporary structure in the backyard that I own. But they haven't addressed any of my concerns. They haven't asked for clarification. They haven't done anything like that. And they're also coordinating this effort with other people. It's very crazy, but yeah, this is the email that I got. I'm still going to proceed with what I told him, and I'm going to redress the city council directly. But I'm about to respond to him. I'm saying, Matt, thank you for providing the additional information. I am looking forward to getting the situation resolved with the city of Marion. I appreciate you and Mr. Hansen for allowing me reasonable time to research this and redress my grievances with the authorizers of this complaint, the Marion, Iowa City Council members. Please note it is a violation of my First Amendment's rights under the United States Constitution to retaliate against me for addressing my grievances to the city, which I have done formally on several occasions, including January 4th, 2024, January 18th, 2024, and March 21st, 2024. To this date, my complaints have remained unaddressed and are unresolved. In addition, Title 18 USC Section 241 states it's a federal offense for 2 or more persons to conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his having so exercised the same. Additionally, the city of Marion is aware that I am a journalist and that I have been covering misconduct, constitutional rights violations, policy violations, and other issues within the city. It is unlawful to retaliate or discriminate against me as a journalist. Lastly, my family and I require our family pool that we have owned in Marion for a significant period of time to meditate. It is unlawful for the government to infringe on my rights to practice my religion, especially on my own property. Nonetheless, we do look forward to coming to a reasonable resolution that respects our constitutional rights and satisfies the wishes of the city of Marion. I have some questions I would like to follow up on from our last conversation and some additional questions. Thank you for your patience, as some of these questions may be repetitive. I'm not well versed on pulling permits. Usually people do this for me. When the permit fee is purchased, I understand that someone will come out to inspect. Do I need to be present for this, or will the city document this for me in writing? Will I be provided a date and time so I may be present if I choose? Yeah, last time they said they were coming, they just never showed up. When the permit fee, if there are violations, how much time will I be given to research and correct these violations? Since the end of summer is rapidly approaching, if this is not resolved by the end of summer and my pool is down, will I need to pay for a new permit next year, or will you allow me to fix issues, if any, and complete my permit process next year? I don't want to pay the $50 fee twice. If the weather gets too cold, I will have to take my pool down. As it is a temporary structure, it is not built to withstand cold temperatures. Thank you for your help. I will let you know if I have any other questions, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. I proceeded to ask then for, a recording of the complaint that was made by, they said, an anonymous caller regarding my property. I wanted the date and time. I asked for the building inspector's code of conduct because I thought Matt Newhouse was extremely rude, and he has been extremely rude. I will say the last email he was okay, but we'll see. We'll see if he wants to continue that way. I also asked for a complete list of pool permits issued in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, including addresses. They did give me that. There's 111 out of those 4 years. I need to get a full list because I do have a record of most pools in Marion. I already started. I need to finish. And I need to see if they're permitted, because if I'm being discriminated against, and it is at the timing of other court actions that are being taken with Marion affiliates and other retaliation, it'll be documented. They responded and said that they will not give me a recording of the communication. They're citing Iowa Code Chapter 22.7, Section 18, as a communication made by a person outside of government if the government body believes that disclosure would discourage such communications from being made in the future. It was received June 26th at 11:46 a.m. to Matt Newhouse. The person shared safety concerns. So my question is, did this person know Matt Newhouse's personal phone number? And that's what I'm going to ask, or direct line, because that's interesting. It's funny because when I confronted Matt Newhouse about this online, or in person, I said, okay, I want to hear about the complaint. And he said somebody was walking along the trail and they called in. And so, it's kind of weird. It's like, I was like, well, first of all, there is no trail. There is no trail. I assume the reason that they don't want to tell me who it is because they know that I'm going to be able to prove that they're connected to the city of Marion. I actually do believe I know who it is. So I asked her, I'm going to ask her, I'm about to send it. If it was made to his direct line, and I'm going to ask her to redact any personal information, and I want to hear the complaint. This is something that we have seen the city of Marion do multiple times. They can't discriminate against me. I'm citing the same reasons as what I'm going to say to Newhouse. So we'll see if we get it. I also told him I'd be okay with the voice being altered if the person's that upset. But I'm also just willing to talk to the complainant directly, because I have a feeling that they weren't walking on the trail. You can always tell when you catch somebody in a lie. I feel like the whole trail story is BS because there is no trail. So he was probably trying to say they were walking by, but yeah, there is no trail. And so it's just very interesting. I want to know what was said in that phone call. So we'll see what they say. I'm about to send it over. They said that they won't send this over to the Linn County Attorney's Office until I can complain on August 28th. So, I mean, if at the very least, I don't have much to lose. Like, if they're going to write me the ticket, I'm going to go to court and fight it. I'm going to catch up on comments. Howard, good to know. I was hearing a bad rumor. You know what? There are no bad rumors. I know that my intentions are pure. So any type of action that's negative, that's being taken against me, God sees all. It'll be okay. If they want to take significant action like they're taking, then we'll be okay. Being charged criminally is different than civilly correct. What we're talking about here is the pool permit. That would be a civil infraction. This is not a criminal charge. However, they still are trying to retaliate against me. They are trying to psychologically torment me, and they are trying to tell me what I can and cannot do on my own property, and they're violating my First Amendment rights. The city of Marion is rotten to the core. Yes, it is. I'm surprised you got Matt Newhouse and Gary Hansen to come. I know. And I wish you would have been there. I was like, wow, I can't believe I got both of them to come out. And Gary Hansen, the only thing he had good to say was something about electrical. And there was an electrician in there, and he didn't jump in to help. It's crazy because I did this live on Facebook, and I had a lot community members that offered to help me, but the city of Marion, they weren't very helpful. When shit hits the fan in this country, they'll be running for the hills. They already are running for the hills. They already are. They are very, very, very desperate. It's sad. I mean, they really should just confront their issues, head on. Like, they would be so much better off, but I don't know. They won't. They refuse. Matt Newhouse is fake. Yeah, Matt Newhouse. And I mean, he lives close by to me, and I've found out some concerning things regarding him. He says he doesn't know who I am, but I mean, you could just tell by how hot he was that he knows who I am. I mean, to be fair, I was pretty upset to see him as well, because I know what this is, but yeah. I'm also the citizen, and I reminded him that I was like, I'm the customer. He was just trying to get me to go around in circles. It was a good learning experience. Like, there's things I'll do differently, but ultimately I wish they would change. Like, they're the ones that are supposed to be helping me out. Marigold Grant, if there's an admin or if there's a moderator in there, just kick her. She's notorious. She's a hater, and I don't need your negativity. Otherwise, I'll do it afterwards. Yeah. Big Stank says, all court is civil. It's all about getting money out of you. No, I think more so what the motive is intimidation. And then also they want to silence me. That's what it is. They want to silence me because they know that I'm credible. They know that people will listen to me, and people think that when they have money, they can do whatever they want. But I don't know. I mean, I have a very strong faith. I don't care what anybody else believes, but I have a strong faith, and everything happens for a reason. Anything that's done negatively towards me is going to turn into positive. A perfect example, January 4th of 2024, I went into the Marion City Council to complain, and I was very, very kind, very polite. I barely had even known BCNN at this point. I'd only seen them one other time. I'd watched their videos. I went in there and I explained very clearly to the Marion City Hall or City Council and the mayor and city manager, everybody else, that I was a citizen, that I was founder of a nonprofit, that I was Christian, but I have always been proud to be a Marion resident, blah, blah, blah. You guys have probably seen it. And I attempted to get assistance. And from there, I've just been retaliated against, which is fine. They, instead of just talking to me, they just want to try to silence me, and it's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't manipulate, you should not manipulate the court system when there are people that have legitimate cases that they're waiting to see a judge for, cases where they need to see a judge so they can actually see their children, or because they have criminal cases, or because they have been victims of crimes. And so to abuse the court system like this is insane. The timing of it is insane. I mean, everything's going to work out in my favor. I didn't even finish my last thought because I think I have like ADHD or something. I get off track. But ultimately, they just want to sit here and pick on me. This is what they do to everybody else, just hoping that I'm just going to go away, that I'm just going to get afraid and go away. And my faith is too strong for that. When the city of Marion conspired with Iowa News Now, aka Lame News yesterday, to lie and say I was a First Amendment auditor, I didn't even know what a First Amendment auditor was. I gave them an opportunity to fix that. They chose not to. They refused. Nobody reached out to me. And from there, I ended up meeting a ton of First Amendment auditors, like the best of the best. And so now I have experts like you guys in my back pocket that, I mean, have helped me tremendously, have taught me so much. I mean, look at me now. It's been what, 7 months, 8 months? My first city council meeting, if you guys watched it, I didn't even know what my Fourth Amendment right was. I had no idea. I didn't even know what the First Amendment was. And now I'm extremely well versed. I've spent a lot of time studying. So it worked in my favor. They lied about me and it just worked in my favor. Anything that's being done against me is going to work in my favor. So you just keep watching. You'll see how it works. This is what God does. This is what faith does. When your intentions are pure, everything works out in your favor. Hey, Johnny Eagle, I appreciate you coming on. Your buddy flew up a privacy fence and the city flew a drone over his yard. They wanted him to clean up. I believe it. City of Marion would do that. Thank you, Marigold. You know, I'm not going to agree with anything negative you're saying because I haven't looked too much into it, but I do stand by my posts, and I appreciate that compliment. That's going to redeem you, I think. Because I do. Like, everything I've said, if I've said something incorrectly, I'll update it. Let me know. I spend a lot of time researching, and if I have said something incorrect or inaccurate, it was definitely not intentional, and I will personally fix it. I have before, and I will do it again. And I can prove that I have. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I see everything for what it is. I'm not worried. I expected this to happen. I've seen Corey engaging a lot with the universe called Is She Part of Your Group Too? I don't know who that is. You should check out Paul Unslaved. He's on there. A YouTube account. Howard, you've been close friends of Flex since he first arrived in Iowa. Yeah, I really appreciate the work he's done in Marion. He's really, I mean, he's definitely taught me a lot. I learned a lot through his videos. I have a lot of, respect for what he does. Are you local here, Howard? I didn't know that you were local. I'll stick on for a minute in case anybody else has any comments. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I just want to keep this documented. Appreciate any feedback that you have. Well, Pete, Flex has been in your garage. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I've only seen him. I mean, I've been outside when he's been in jail. I don't know if that counts. I've seen him at city council meetings. We he's doing more of a funny thing. I'm doing more of a serious thing. So I think, I learn a lot from him from a distance, but we're kind of just doing separate things. But he's definitely, I mean, I appreciate his videos because he helped me learn the Constitution really quickly. It's so much different when you're watching it being practiced and when you're just trying to read it in a book, and he makes it entertaining. Like, I seriously would be fine with Marion, Iowa police officers watching Flex's videos, while they're sitting in parking lots. Like, I just want them to be doing something productive. I always catch them in parking lots. Like, literally, if I caught them watching Flex's videos, educational videos, and they were using that to learn the Constitution, they'd get my seal of approval. I'm willing, I'm open to solutions. It's just the city of Marion, they don't even want to talk about solutions. They don't even want to hear what my problem is. I mean, and that's how you know how guilty they are, because if they weren't guilty, they would want to at least know what my problem is. Like, they never even asked. Still to this day, they haven't even asked. They haven't even said, Miss Simmons, you've lived here for 20 years. We just heard your 5-minute speech. Can you elaborate? Can you tell us more? Can you give us the examples that you were talking about? They didn't want to hear it. So it's like, what have they done? I mean, I know a lot of what they've done, but just imagine what they've done that I don't know. It's very weird. Definitely, I mean, not something I thought that I would ever be involved with. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Marigold, not a hater at all. Just really believe in the value of getting to know someone to the core before you blast them. I know you support people in prison and jail and get to know them. I think everyone deserves that same respect. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you're connected to. I can estimate. I did have one representative reach out that offered a meeting, and if it's the person I'm thinking of that you're talking about, and the person was not very kind. They were not as kind as you. So that's probably why you got a little bit of my attitude, and I apologize for that. If you are connected with the person we're talking about, and I'll offer the same person I told the other person. If there's something I don't know, if there are meetings that have been held where this person has talked about their past, or they want to release a statement, they want to release a video, I mean I would consider talking about that. However, I can tell just by the way that there's a reaction to someone's past, like you can tell that they haven't fully closed that out. So, for example, I'm just going to put myself out there because I don't want to talk about other people right now. I used to have an extremely wild drinking problem, very, very bad. I was a huge binge drinker. I'm pretty open about it, social media. If somebody, like, it happens all the time, people call me a drunk, bring it up all that time. I don't care because I've accepted that part of my past. I own it. I mean, I'll tell you all the crazy stories, everything. That is how people act. And I know because I've seen other people do the same thing when they have truly done something and healed from it, taken responsibility for it, and then go to become a success story. If there is some huge success story that needs to be shared, then let's share it. I mean, nobody wants to work with me at the city of Marion. Everybody wants to work against me. It's actually really disappointing because if you're talking about the person I think you're talking about, that person should resonate with what I'm saying, with what my cause is. That person, as somebody who allegedly has an amazing success story, should be infuriated when they hear about the things that I've gone through, that I've complained about. I think that person may have even been present when I've spoken. So, I mean, if there's something I'm missing, let's talk about it. Don't know personally, but have seen great things done around our community. I do know Blahnik pretty well and know you stand behind him, similar to me. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I hated Blahnik. And I don't hate Remedy. I'm not going to say I hate it. Yeah. At that time in my life, yeah, I did. I judged him. Again, this is like all this stuff. This is, long story. That's actually the whole Bagley case is actually what got me really looking into the city of Marion. So I was not an advocate for Drew Blahnik, and I have had a lot of interactions with him now, just in writing, but he is not the same person that he was when he went in. If he was, or if I found out that he was lying to me, things like that, I wouldn't support him. And that's the thing. I literally have clients that I advocate for, that I have advocated for before it was popular, that have been sentenced to life, literally life in prison. So you can already guess what they did, or what they allegedly did. I am not above, I'm all for reform, but at the same time, I don't seek out clients like that. Like, if you want to work with me, work with me. I'm not going to go seek you out. That's just, the dude in question is supposed to be a very significant leader, is someone that's older, has a lot more money, and has, seemingly started a new company, a new business, which is what I'm trying to do. So why wouldn't you reach out to me as a mentor? Aren't you above me? Like, that's what I don't understand. I'm asking for help for anybody that wants to create positive change in the community. Unfortunately, nobody of significance wants to. It's all just citizens. There's no one in leadership, or no business owner. I've tried to get business owners too that spend a lot of money in the city to partner. I've tried to get church organizations. Nobody wants to. It's like everybody wants to keep covering up the corruption and doesn't want to step on any toes. That's the thing. I guess I'm one of the only people that is willing to step on toes. I don't know. Not the only one, but most of the other ones are citizens. Profits and power over positive change. I mean, that's what it is. It's what it is, and it's sad. And so that's what they're going to do is they're going to attempt to use their money and their power to threaten me. They want to steal my power. They want to make me have negative thoughts. They want to make me be afraid. They want to try to steal my money. They want to try to financially abuse me, you know, and that's the thing. There's everything will end up coming out. There are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, a lot of threats that are made to me, a lot of actions that are taken towards me that I don't make public, or that I wait to make public. I mean, there's a lot that I just can't share right now. I think that sometimes it takes finding the right person to reach out to. I know it's hard to find in this community. It is. But I mean, again, I'm an open book. I mean, I'm trying to do more on YouTube, but if you look at me on Facebook, I mean, there's a reason that I get people to talk to me that won't talk to anybody else. I mean, there's a reason that I have the clients that I have. There's a reason I get the information I do, and it's because I'm an excellent advocate. I am understanding. I am empathetic. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. So if somebody wants to reach out and wants their message heard, I mean, I'm not going to force someone to want to work with me. I'm not going to do that. I have enough work to do that if they don't see my value, then they're not a good partner for me. I mean, I have actual vulnerable people that are clients that have their freedom taken away, that have their kids taken away, that are facing serious charges. So the last thing I'm going to do is try to clear the name of someone who is attacking, you know? I mean, it's like you got to give a little to get a little. I mean, I don't even know this person and they're defaming my name and making up lies about me in court. So that's also another thing, you know? It's like I'm a small business owner, a nonprofit at that, and people are trying to lie about me and put me it's pretty messed up, especially when everything's documented. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, like I said earlier, conspiring against me for practicing my First Amendment rights. I mean, it's literally it's a federal offense. So it cannot be done, and it's being done and it's being formally documented. People that are self-made success stories that belittle others trying to do the same are threatened by the fact they're not superiors to others in every way. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that I make people really, really uncomfortable. And I'm just going to say it like it is. It might come off rude, but this is what it is. I own every single flaw that I have. You can't really say anything to me because I'll tell you, I'll tell you that I used to be wasted and I used to act like a fool. I'll tell you that I used to be like 130, 50 pounds overweight. I'll tell you that I treated a bunch of people like crap because I was a victim of narcissistic abuse. I'll tell you everything that I've done. And I'll tell you what my flaws are now. And unfortunately, that makes people feel really uncomfortable because they're not able to do the same. And so they take it out on me. It is what it is. It's just part of it. You have to kind of learn that, the claims that are being made towards me have nothing to do with me. It's just I'm the face of the person that is saying what everybody else probably wants to say. I mean, do you think that, I mean, I know that the reason I started this nonprofit is because the victims are too emotionally broken to speak up. The victims are too afraid to speak up. The victims have kids that aren't in their care and they're trying to figure out how to get their kids back or their freedom back. I feel blessed that I'm in a position where mentally and emotionally that I can handle this stress. And it's not easy, don't get me wrong. However, it would be a lot harder, and it is a lot harder on a lot of my clients. So I feel like if God is putting me in this position to take the heat from these people who are clearly victimizing people, I mean, we have proof of it. City of Marion authorities and everybody else that's attacking me. I'm not the first time. I'm not the first victim that they've had. I'm just probably the first one that who knows? They do this to other people. I would rather have them do it to me because I have the time, I have the money, I have the emotional stability than to continue to hurt other victims on the street, because that's the stuff that I can't see anymore. That's what started all this, is I was watching them create victims of people that I loved and cared about who weren't in a position to handle it. And I mean, it was literally causing people to fall into drug addiction, to end up in prison, to end up unaliving themselves. And I was done seeing it. I was done seeing it. So take it out on me. Take the heat off the people that need to get their lives together and their selves together. And, it's going to take years, but eventually things are going to change. Brian, you enjoy my live streams. Thank you. I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. This is like, there's not very many people in here, but I'm not. It's funny because at the beginning in January, I was like, I'm not a public speaker. I'm a writer. I'm not going to be speaking. Here I am speaking even more. But yeah, I'm going to head out, you guys. I told my family this is going to be a lot shorter than it ended up being, but I am thankful that you guys stayed on with me this long. It means a lot that you give me your time. It really does. It really does. And it goes a lot. I mean, the reason I'm complaining is because I'm not the only victim, and I just want that to be remembered. Yeah, Marigold, if you hold on, let me look. Yeah. I mean, if somebody hears it and wants to reach out, look me up on Facebook. My email address for business purposes is Bailey, BAILEY, at BAESYM. So that's BAESYM.com. I mean, if you have a story, like if you want to talk about how your life has changed, I mean, I love that stuff. I love encouraging stories. So yeah, if somebody wants to do that, reach out. Keep being you. That's why we're here. I appreciate that. Appreciate you, Rockport. Appreciate you, Howard. I'm signing out.